Yeah, I might low-key be madly in love with you. But don't worry, bro, it's only low-key, so it basically doesn't even count. Alright, to be fair, in love should probably be written with an asterisk or something, because in my personal opinion, I think it's kind of something else, or rather, at least something adjacent, okay? Because I don't really think that I just catch feelings super easily or anything like that. It is really freaking weird though, so strap in. So I suppose I should probably explain what exactly this is. If I'm saying it's not actual romantic love, then what is it, okay? Look, alright, I have a problem, okay? As many of you probably already know, I struggle with a little something called loneliness. Which, big deal, who cares, right? Well, okay, to make matters worse, whenever I actually do receive any amount of affection from anybody whatsoever, it just overwhelms me in a number of different ways, which I am probably not going to get super into depth here in this video, because they're very, very, very personal, but if you really, really want to know, click on my channel, scroll for a minute, you can't miss it, bro, it's right there, okay? Now about this aforementioned problem from a minute ago, basically what it boils down to is this, okay? The second I form any sort of emotional connection with a friend, I just find myself literally obsessed with that person almost instantaneously, okay? I find myself wanting to be around that person all the time. I develop a sort of dependency on that person too. I find myself just wanting to be close with that person, and I just want to touch them. Okay, and I mean that in a completely innocent way, alright? Like, I mean, like, hugging, hand-holding, cuddling, whatever it may be, okay? I don't mean it in a creepy way. I don't want to do anything else with people, alright? I don't want a romantic relationship with them either. I just want to be close to someone without that sort of implication. However, the thing that kind of sucks, and the reason why I'm making a video about this in the first place, is not just because I sometimes feel like I want to be close with people. No, it's not like that at all. The reason why this is so terrible is because this sort of feeling happens completely against my will. Basically, I have no control over this whatsoever. Whenever it happens, it just kind of happens, okay? If you're my friend and I've gotten to know you beyond just typical small talk or talking about something stupid like video games or movies or something, then chances are I have probably had this exact same thing happen with you completely against my will, and it's frustrating, okay? And to be honest with you, I'm not even exactly sure what I should even call this sort of weird phenomenon. I've done research on it. I've heard the term limerence, which I guess is the closest possible thing that I could come up with that you could actually call this. But then again, the definition that I found specifically says that it is a romantic thing, which I don't know if that is what I can call it. Because again, I don't want a relationship with anybody. That's not what this is. It's not like I just want you, bro. In a strictly platonic way, of course. But yes, it is very, very frustrating. Okay, this phase of, call it deep infatuation, can last anywhere between just a couple of days to literal months, or sometimes even years, which has actually happened before with a very particular friend. And it is something that I'm not exactly proud of, and it is very, very annoying, okay? Now look, okay, eventually it kind of just goes away on its own, and, at that point, very, very cool. I'm glad I don't feel this way anymore, and I can kind of just be friends with this person without feeling like they're going to be weirded out or something like that. Still, though, it is honestly a very agonizing feeling, because I just know that I don't want to date these people, okay? And, I know that may be hard for some people watching this video to be able to comprehend. You might be saying, like, Nato Fingal, isn't that basically just a crush? And, look, here's the thing, dude. I swear it isn't, okay? I'm just lonely, and I just want somebody to connect with in some way. Alright, dude? It is hard to put into words in a way that people can understand. It is hard to try to convince people that this isn't a romantic thing, but you just gotta take my word for it, okay? If your kid came up to you and told you that he or she was depressed, would you try to convince them that they were lying or doing it for attention or something like that, or that they're actually just in denial and that their depression isn't actually real depression, it's just that freaking something else, I don't know. No, most likely not, okay? That's typically not something you freaking do. You don't try to just invalidate people's feelings because you feel like it is something else. I believe that's called something like a typical mind fallacy or something along those lines. Whatever, it doesn't matter. Anywho, though, yeah, without naming any names, many of my friends have fallen victim to my sort of weirdness, okay? It's like, as soon as I have a solid down-to-earth conversation with somebody, I just cannot get enough of them. I find myself just wanting to do nothing but talk with them, wishing that we could just be next to each other and not on the phone. Then again, if we actually were next to each other, I feel like I'd probably be way too much of a wuss to even do any of the things that I was mentioning that I had the urge to do a second ago, but whatever. The reason for that is because I wouldn't want them to get the wrong idea or, potentially weird them out. That wouldn't be good at all. I don't want to lose people or make them start disliking me or start thinking that I'm weird or making them think that I want to do things with them, but I clearly do not want to do. And because of that, I basically never even bring this up at all. The fact that, I feel this way toward them. So it can feel kind of frustrating, you know what I mean? Trying to be friends with people and them not knowing a very, very, very big aspect of the way that I feel about them. You get what I mean? And okay, look, dude, the title of the video, you read it, right? There is over a 0% chance that whoever is watching this video, given you've given me at least some sort of emotional attention, there is probably at least some chance that you've been one of my victims. Okay, that's kind of an icky word to use, but okay, let's use something else like special interest, okay? I don't freaking know, dude. Not much better, but you get the idea, okay? And that is definitely a bit of a scary thought to think about, but look, man, this is probably a positive thing. I think it's good to get this sort of information out there so that people can understand me just a teeny weeny bit more, you feel me? I want to preface also that I would consider myself to be asexual, whether you want to believe that or not, okay? So before you ask, no, I don't get the sudden urge to thread the needle with anybody the second I get to know them or something like that. That would be freaking ridiculous, okay? Get your mind out of the gutter. Also, I don't know if I've made it obvious enough, but I am definitely very, very ashamed of the fact that this happens in the first place, okay? I want to be friends with people, but sometimes it feels like there's a force holding me back from truly connecting with them because I find myself so deeply infatuated with people that it feels like I kind of have to manually slow myself down out of fear that they're going to hate me or want to distance themselves from me. And I just have abandonment issues and it's just so hard. Whatever, you're freaking emo. Look, okay, I'm trying to improve, but it's just so freaking difficult, okay? As I said, all right, it happens against my will. I have no control over it. It kind of just freaking happens, and, what can I do? There's only a few things I can do, and honestly, I think the big thing that I need to do is that I just need to get a woke buzzword alert partner, because at least that way I can have at least, somebody there to fall back on. You get what I mean? Someone I can sort of redirect these sorts of feelings to, so that way I don't claim any new victims. You feel me? It'd be nice to have someone there for me, is what I'm getting at, okay? In the grand scheme of things. The only thing I can actually, really do right now in the present, other than just trying to find someone like that, I guess would just be to talk it over in my head and convince myself that it's not anything weird. And of course, it definitely is extremely weird, okay? But I'm trying my best to maybe not be so ashamed about it because, again, as I said, it isn't exactly something I can control, you feel me? This is not exactly a moral dilemma of any sort, alright? So at least trying to tell myself that, hey man, you don't gotta worry about it, man. It's actually just something else entirely that's making you do this, so it's not your fault, buddy. That definitely helps a lot, you know what I mean? It definitely helps me continue to move forward without wanting to stick my head in a rusty guillotine. You get what I mean? But yeah, I guess we can only hope that maybe someday I'll find somebody I could be with who will somehow miraculously overlook all the things that are wrong with me and will also somehow love me. That'd be really cool, wouldn't it? A guy can dream, can he? Anywho though, yeah, I don't really think I have anything else to say, so I'm going to wrap it up right here. Moral of the story, if this somehow also happens to you, I just want you to know that it's not your fault, and I ask that you at least try to find healthy relationships with people and mainly just try to thug it out, alright, buddy? We go and get through it, bruh. That's just about the best advice I can think of at this moment in time, because me personally, I'm still going through this, trying to figure it out, trying to feel it out. You know what I mean, dude? Whatever. But yeah, that's about it. I want to mention that I have a Discord server now. If you are interested in that, if you want to stop by, chat with some very interesting people, then come on in. Also, you might even be able to talk with me because I'm always kind of there too. I don't just lurk, believe it or not. I try to engage myself with my community just a teeny weeny bit. So yeah, if you want to talk with me, consider joining. The link is in the description. Also, take a look-see here. We got some fan art. This stuff is the bomb. Hope you like it too, because I sure do. Ugh. Last but not least, I want to mention that I also have a channel membership. It is not obligatory, it is not required, I am just throwing it out there, okay? If you want to support me, then you know where to find it, okay? It's the little join button right underneath this video. Then again, though, if this is the first video that you've seen from me, then do not feel like you are legally required to send me freaking money, alright? I'll manage. Believe me, I'll find a way. But yeah, whatever. Okay, thank you very kindly for watching this video of mine, and without further ado, I shall catch y'all in the next one. Bye!